I managed to pass and cross over to the teaching hospital, though I had a receipt in biochemistry. I wrote that and passed, crossed over to the teaching hospital. My mind was in total turmoil and turbulence, so I left the school. I had to take to pushing a wheelbarrow.
In fact, it's the grace of God that I'm alive. I'm supposed to have died since because of this boy.
I'm a 43-year-old man and based here in Boko. My story actually began, I went to primary school here in Boko, in nursery school, Kusaki Nursery and Primary School. From here I proceeded to Government College, Makodi, where I did my secondary education, and I graduated in 1995 as the best graduating student of the institution that year. My plan was actually to go and study engineering, petroleum engineering to be precise. But I had some Indian teachers who taught me biology, and my father was also a teacher in that school. And he bought the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board exam form for me. I failed petroleum engineering. And so he came back and told me that my Indian teacher said that the best course for me to read was medicine, not engineering. And my father he was a disciplinarian. You couldn't, as a child, you didn't have the courage to question his decisions or his judgments or his counsel. So once he said that the teacher said it was medicine I was supposed to read, not engineering, he said I should change the course. So I changed the course to medicine. And when I got to Ibadan. And the first year was okay. 200 level was when the problem began, because my brain structure was trained to understand things and remember them by understanding them. But I managed to pass and cross over to the teaching hospital, though I had a receipt in biochemistry. I wrote that and passed, crossed over to the teaching hospital. My mind was in total turmoil and turbulence, so I left the school. I wandered around Nigeria, went to Borno, went to Chad, went to Sokoto. I traveled almost across the country. Sometimes I was just, wherever night finds me, that's where I sleep, So having gone around, even the places where Boko Haram is attacking today, I was in some of those local governments, in Baga, in Bama, in Borno State. I traveled back to Ibadan. I appealed to the school to let me come back and complete my studies. So the academic council met and they decided that yes, I should be given an opportunity to come back and finish my studies with a set that was some years behind me, behind my original set. And the attempt to, settle down and focus on my medical studies again. Terrible depression. This depression that's almost suicidal. You can see there's a mark on my wrist where I attempted to end it all by cutting off the radial artery. Because you would not have interest in anything, complete lack of pleasure or interest, what is called anhedonia. You don't have any interest whatsoever. So I left again, wandered around the country again, traveled to so many places, aimlessly, just traveling around. Sometimes I'll get to a position where I have to beg to survive. I decided let me come back again and give it a second try. I came back again. The academic council met again, but this time they said no. This issue of you come back, you leave again, and then you come back again to be asked to come in. So the second time they said no. So when I saw that the case was totally hopeless, I came back, settled in Boko. I started doing menial jobs, whatever jobs I could find, lay my hands on. Because my mom too, she had exhausted all her resources. She suffered. She did everything a mother could to make sure I got back on track, but all to no avail. And now she's retired. She's retired, and the pensions are not regular. So I had to take to pushing a wheelbarrow. So I pushed the barrow. Then I was struggling with sexual desire. So I decided, okay, what was to solve this problem? I will remove the testes, because the Lord Himself had said that if your right eye offends you, stands in your way, you should remove that right eye rather than to be having two eyes and then to go into damnation. So that was the context within which I attempted to remove my testicles. But as I removed the right one, there was a lot of blood. So I had to stop because I was afraid that I could go into shock because of the level at which the blood was flowing. So I got to the hospital and the bleeding was arrested, and then the incision was stitched together.
Ademi is my first son out of 6 children. He's the first son of the family. Some of them were in the secondary school, himself and the sister and the others in the nursery primary when their father died. Then in his 500 level, things started going wrong. He came home. He told me he wanted to leave medicine. And I asked why. He told me he was no longer interested. And I advised him that he has gone too far to start something else. So we spoke together and he went back to the school. And then suddenly he came up with coordinated speech and, he started not becoming himself. I didn't understand the way he was behaving very abnormally, not like he used to talk to me aggressively, and the other siblings, he was no longer friendly as we used to know him. And so I took him to the hospital, took him to Federal Medical Center. He just left the bed and left me alone there. I was just crying around looking for him. And I made effort. The father is no longer alive, lonely as a widow, moving from one place to another, trying to see that this child, how can a child like this get useless? It touches me, but because I know God, I have not given up. I've been trusting my God that this boy can never be like this. One day, it will be a story that God will take his glory. Now he came back and started pushing wheelbarrow. Even some of the members of the family, the nuclear family, we advised him that it's not good for him to push wheelbarrow. In fact, it's the grace of God that I'm alive. I'm supposed to have died since because of this boy, because of the problem. But I know it's not deliberate. He's an intelligent child, very intelligent as you see him. But I believe God will do it.
So my decision now, my desire now, if I can lay my hand on proper resources financially, I want to marry and settle down. The shop is rented, but now the problem is how to get money and stock it up with the necessary drugs. So I believe that with a chemist to take care of and a wife who loves me and I love, I believe my life will be more stable. So I'm appealing to well-meaning individuals, corporate bodies, the government of Benue State, the governor himself, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Otom, to come to my aid, to help me, to stabilize my life. And I'm grateful to all those who have shown concern. It has rekindled my faith in humanity, because having gone through the things I was going through, I lost hope. I didn't have any hope. I was just living from day to day. I didn't care about life. I felt that life was over. I was just living like someone who had life imposed upon them. So I'm appealing that all well-meaning individuals and corporate bodies, they could support me to achieve these tripartite goals of getting married, getting rehabilitated, and starting up a business, because an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So